This motion picture is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual persons or events is purely coincidental. In the early 20th century, as the Russian Empire staggered under social unrest and political collapse, one figure emerged from the Siberian wilderness to become a lightning rod for devotion, hatred, myth, and fear. Grigori Yefimovich Rasputin. His life was a chain of contradictions, and his death would become one of the most sensational stories in modern history. Rasputin was born in 1869 in the remote village of Pokrovskoye. He received little formal education, but his intense charisma, sharp intuition, and claims of mystical visions gave him a reputation that grew far beyond his home. His troublesome behavior, conflicts with villagers, and rumors about inappropriate conduct eventually caused repeated clashes with local authorities and clergy, sometimes voluntarily left. But each departure pushed him further down the path of becoming a wandering spiritual figure. During these travels, Rasputin visited monasteries, debated religious leaders, and gained a small but loyal following. His uncanny presence, his ability to read people emotionally, and his talent for persuasion shaped the mystique that would later open the doors of the empire itself. Rasputin's introduction to the royal family reshaped his destiny. Tsarevich Alexei, the fragile heir to the Russian throne, suffered from hemophilia. Even minor injuries could threaten his life. When Rasputin was called to the palace during one of the boy's crises, his calm voice, firm instructions, and refusal to allow certain medical interventions coincided with the child's rapid improvement. Whatever the reason for Alexei's recovery, the imperial couple believed Rasputin had performed a miracle. Empress Alexandra, in particular, became convinced that Rasputin had been sent by God to protect her son, and, by extension, the Romanov dynasty. As her trust deepened, Rasputin gained unprecedented access to the inner circle of the empire. Rasputin's expanding influence created a growing storm of resentment. Politicians saw him as a dangerous outsider. Nobles and clergy accused him of hypocrisy and moral corruption. Rumors multiplied endlessly. Political manipulation, drunken escapades, secret meetings, and hidden agendas. Many believed he was steering the empire toward disaster, and each scandal amplified the paranoia. In 1914, Rasputin returned briefly to Siberia, where he experienced the first attempt on his life. A woman approached him in the street and suddenly stabbed him in the abdomen, nearly killing him. The attacker was a follower of Iliador, a radical monk who despised Rasputin and considered him a threat to the church. The wound was deep and recovery slow, but Rasputin survived. The attack magnified his myth even further. Some claimed divine protection, others whispered darker theories. But one thing became clear. Rasputin was now seen as a man who could not be eliminated so easily. As World War I ravaged Russia, Rasputin became more involved in political matters. Whether he truly influenced major decisions or simply advised Alexandra privately is still debated. But the rumors alone were enough to fuel national rage. In the months before his death, Rasputin wrote ominous letters warning that Russia faced catastrophe. He claimed that if he were killed by government officials or nobles, the Romanov family would soon fall as well. Within a few years, this prophecy, real or coincidental, would haunt the memories of those who ignored it. On a freezing night in December 1916, A group of aristocrats led by Prince Felix Yusupov and politician Vladimir Purishkevich lured Rasputin to the Yusupov palace. They believed killing him would save Russia. What followed became one of history's most dramatic and disputed deaths. According to Yusupov, the conspirators prepared cakes and wine laced with a deadly amount of cyanide Rasputin ate and drank without showing any sign of distress, causing panic among the plotters. Whether the poison was ineffective, expired, neutralized by the heated wine, or simply never added in the first place, remains uncertain. But the story of Rasputin calmly surviving an immense dose of cyanide became a cornerstone of his legend. When poison failed to show results, Yusupov shot Rasputin at close range. The wounded mystic collapsed. Believing the job done, Yusupov went upstairs to celebrate with the others. But when he returned, Rasputin allegedly opened his eyes, rose to his feet, and attempted to flee into the courtyard. Purishkevich then fired several more shots, finally bringing him down. Even then, the conspirators hesitated, unsure if Rasputin was truly dead. In the final stage of the night, they wrapped his body, carried it to the edge of the frozen Neva River, broke the ice, and pushed him into the dark water below. Later reports suggested that water was found in his lungs during the autopsy, implying he may have still been alive when he entered the river. Whether this is true or another layer of myth remains fiercely debated. But the image of Rasputin refusing to die has survived for more than a century. Years after the murder, Hollywood produced the 1932 film Rasputin and the Empress. In the movie, the character based on Felix Yusupov was portrayed as immoral and villainous. Yusupov sued the studio for defamation and won the case. The lawsuit terrified filmmakers, leading to the creation of the now standard disclaimer: "This motion picture is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual persons or events is purely coincidental." This familiar warning owes its existence to Rasputin's story and the man who killed him. Rasputin's life and death remain an intricate mixture of fact, rumor, and legend. A healer to some, a manipulator to others, and an enigma to everyone, he continues to fascinate the world more than a century later. His story is a reminder of how a single, unlikely figure can slip through the cracks of history and alter the fate of an empire. Sometimes through influence, sometimes through fear, and sometimes through the myths left behind. If you enjoyed this story and want more historical mysteries, forgotten figures, or strange turning points that shaped the world, make sure to subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments which story you'd like to see next.